Hello, children. Today we're going to have a look at time one. Time one. We'll also be having a look at time two, which is year 4 work on Friday. So that will be interesting for you to have a little look at. But today, time one, year 3 work. Let's get going. Remember to have the lesson up next to you, the screen if you want to, or you can have a look through the lesson afterwards, and you must complete the homework. So let's have a look at one. There are 2 types of clock. I did mention them last week. I'm wondering if any of you can remember. There is an analog clock. Oh, this one's not an analog clock. This one is a digital clock. A digital clock. Okay, so this displays the time digitally, and there is an analog clock, which you would get on an alarm clock, the wall, like in the classroom or in the hall, and on a watch. You can get digital clocks on watches, and in sports halls sometimes you get a digital clock on the wall. More and more now we're using digital time, but it's still important for you to learn the analog time as well. So the shorthand is the hour hand, and it tells the hour of the day. And it goes around the clock once in every 12 hours. Remember, a day is 24 hours, so it'll go around the clock twice in a whole day. And the o'clock is of the clock, so it shows what's on the clock. O'clock is a shortened form, but we always use o'clock. We never use of the clock. So I'm going to do this twice. You can do it as many times as you want on yours. I'm going to randomly stop the time, and I can see here that this shows it is 8 o'clock. Nice, easy one, the first one. I think they might have done that on purpose. Ooh, how interesting. Here, we can see Roman numerals. Now, these are exactly the same as normal numbers. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, okay? For example, the X shows a 10, the V is a 5, and the 1 is a 1. So here's 1, and then you've got 1, 2, and you've got 1, 2, 3. And now you've got 1 before the 5 to show it's 1 before 5, which is 4. We've got a V, which is 5, VI, which is 6, VII, which is 7, VIII, 8. 1 before the X, which shows it's 9. X is 10. XI, it should be XI, not XII, because that would be 12. XI is 11. This program's got it wrong, naughty my maths. And this one, XII, is 12. So we have got it stopped on 10 o'clock. If you forget what they are, don't worry, just count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't need to know that X is 10 to know that that's a 10, because you can count it. Final one. Oh no, we only had to go through 2. The long hand is known as the minute hand, and it tells you how many minutes past the hour it is. And we know this. Okay, so when the minute hand's pointing to 6 halfway around the clock, it's half past. So here we can see it's half past 11, halfway between the 11 and the 12. On the 3, it's quarter past. Okay, this is really good revision for us, because if we keep going over this stuff, we're going to remember it. Quarter past 9, because I can see it's just past the 9. Repetition in learning is really good way of learning. So you might say, Miss Meletta, we've done this all week. Very important to go over it again. So at the 9, it's quarter to the hour. So this is quarter to 9. So each number is 5 minutes in between each number. So when the minute hand points to the 1, the time's 5 minutes past the hour. So we could say 5 past the hour. 5 past 12, 5 past 1, Every time the minute hand's staying at the 1, it's the hour hand that's changing the time. 8:05. By counting in 5s, we can see how many minutes passed. So I've been doing this every lesson myself. 5, and then it'll be 10 minutes past, and then quarter past, or 15 minutes past, 20 past, 25 minutes, 30 minutes past. Now, if you remember, now when you say the time, it could go to 25 too. I think this will show us 35 minutes past. Nope, 25 2. If you look at the left-hand side of the clock, remember it changes. It's past until half past, and it's 2 after the 6. 25 minutes to, 22, quarter to, 10 to, 5 to, and back to o'clock. So we can see here we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes past. I can see it's between the 2 and the 3, past 2. Okay. So I'm going to leave you to do this. You can beat the clock. You need to answer as many questions as you can in the 2 minutes. Now, I'm not going to go through it all for 2 minutes, but you can try it yourself. And what you can do is you can post in the blog how many you got right in 2 minutes, and we can see who can get the best. And I will mention who got the best number in the blog the next day. So post your numbers. Don't lie. Tell me the truth. See how many you can do. You can play as many times as you want. So it takes 60 minutes for the minute hand to complete 1 revolution. A revolution is a full turn, so the 1 time around the clock. And the clock face is divided into the 60 minutes. We can tell the time accurately to the nearest 1 minute. And remember, each little dot, I haven't covered this in a little while, is 1 minute. We have minutes past the hour up until half past, and minutes to the hour from half past to the 12. So here we're 29 minutes past the hour, be 30 minutes past the hour, or half past 12, and then it would be 29 minutes to 1. 29 minutes to 1. So count up, past. As soon as it's past half past, it's to the next hour. 28 minutes. So here I can see we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. And then it's not quite on the 5, so it's not 25. We can see it's the dot before 25. So it would be 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 minutes past, because it's on the right-hand side. And I'm looking, and it's between the 9 and the 10. 24 minutes past 9. Oh, my computer seems to crash. Okay, back. When we read the time for an analog clock, we say the minutes first and then the hour. So we say it's 8:15. Or it's 10 minutes to 5, or 10 to 5. The exceptions for o'clock. The only time we say the hour first is when it's o'clock. However, with the digital time, we have the hours, then the minutes. Here we say 8:15, and here we might say 8:15. 8:15, 8:15. They're exactly the same time, but they're just shown in different ways, and you might say them in different ways. Here we've got 9:25, because you said the minutes first. 25 past 9, 25 past 9, because it's on the right hand side. Here I might say 9:25. I might say it's 9:25. So remember that shaded bit here is past the hour. The non-shaded bit here is to the hour. So when we read the time for a digital, it's past the hour, not to the hour only. So this, we would say 9:35. If someone showed me this clock and said, what time is it, Miss Meta? I would probably answer 9:35, because I'm reading from the right to the left the time. I'm not going to read the minutes first and then the hour. I'm reading it this way. However, if I saw it on the wall and someone said, "What's the time, Miss Miletto?" I would probably look at the minute hand first and see it's on the 7 and say 25 to 10. So let's match the digital times to the analog times. I can see this one's an o'clock, so I know that the minutes must be 00. I can see this one is on the half past, so I know the minutes must be 30. Now, I'm not even looking at the hours because I can see that the minutes on the 9, so it must be 45. I've only looked at the minutes there. So we can write these as an analog time. Here I can see that it's 20 to 8. 20 to 8 because the minute hand's on the 8, so it's 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes until it would be 8 o'clock. So I know that as a digital time I must write 7 because it's not really 8 o'clock yet, colon 40 because it's 22, so it must be 40 minutes past the hour. Here I can see it's 4:15. This one is a much easier one. 4:15 because remember quarter means 15, and this 10:00 because there's no more minutes. There's no minutes. So let's try and show the time for this analog clock on the digital clock. 7 minutes to 3. Now I know my hour is not going to have reached 3 yet, so I know my hour is going to be 2, and I know it must be 7 minutes before 60. So if you can do it in your head, 60 take away 7, I'm thinking I can't change this myself, but I am going to say that it will be 2:53 because in 7 minutes time it will be on 3 o'clock, which would be 60 minutes in an hour. So I'm counting backwards 7 in my head to 2:53. So they've done 50 because they know the 10's 50 plus 3. I did it backwards the other way, but you can do it either way as long as you get to 53. I did it this way. 60 minus 7 equals 53. I don't mind which one you do. Don't mind which method you do. No teacher would ever mind what method you did to get an answer as long as you get the right answer. So here we're adding and taking away from the analog clock and on the digital clock. So we can see here we've got 8 minutes to 5. You can see it's very nearly on the 5, but we still got 8 minutes to go until we get there. So I know that it's not going to be 5 yet because we're not reached 5 o'clock yet. We haven't reached 5, so we'll be on the 4. Now I'm going to count backwards from the 00 because if I go backwards, it'll go to 59. And I know that it's 8 minutes to 5, so I need to count backwards 8 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4:52. Final one. I can see that it's past 8 o'clock, 8 minutes past 8. So I'm going to take it backwards, just because it's the easier way to go. You could have gone forwards to 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8:08. Easier to go that way. I'm going to move on. You can do more of them if you want to. So time can be measured on a clock in seconds as well as hours and minutes. And we saw all the seconds tick back yesterday. This analog clock has a blank hand that measures a second. Okay, black hand, sorry. I was thinking blank, it's not coloured. It's a very thin one though. Usually they are red hands for the second hand. Goes around 60 times to make 1 minute. Then you can sometimes see on a digital clock it adding up. And remember yesterday I said that I was in time. It was at the right time. This is exactly the time that it is right now. that I am videoing this video. So it's quite cool. On yours, it'll be the time that you're watching it. So here we can measure the measured on clock in seconds as well as hours and minutes. So we look at the minute hand, we can see that it's moving forward slightly, and it goes 1 dot as this second hand goes around once. I'm skipping through this quite fast because I'm aware this video is going to be very long otherwise. You can take more time over doing it yourself if you want to. It's 12 hours for the hour hand to go all the way around, so it goes twice in a day. This is a recap of what I said before. The first half will be the morning from 12 midnight to 12 midday, and then from midday to midnight would be the afternoon. So we went through this yesterday. I'm actually going to skip this bit because we did go through this bit, and I don't want to repeat anything, especially when this video is going to be quite long. So we can use time to measure how long an event has taken. For example, using a stopwatch. Very short thing. Or if we know that Jackie here left the house at 8 in the morning, she returns at 11, she has been outside doing something. Maybe it looks like she's got some sports kit, or maybe she's doing some exercise. She's been outside for 3 hours, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. You can count forward or you could subtract. So Samantha arrived at work at 9. She finished work at 5. She has been there from 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to... Oh, no, gone too far. 8 hours. If I went from 5 to 6, I would have gone past 5 o'clock. So remember, we have to stop at midday at 12, and then we'd have to count from 1 to 5. Because she works 3 hours in the morning, 9 to midday, and then she works 5 hours in the afternoon, 12 to 5. So this guy, David, he's gone to a party at 7 in the evening. He hasn't come home until 3 in the night or in the morning. So he's been partying for a long time. He partied from 7 until midnight, which would be 12, okay? And then from midnight to 3. So that would be 7 to midnight would be 5 hours. And from midnight to 3 would be 3 hours. So that would be 8 hours in total. Long, long party. So I'm going to leave you to do this because we've gone through it. So for example, here 4 to 10, we know we would just need to count on the hours. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6 hours. But some of them you might need to go from the evening, 10 o'clock to 12, midnight, and then from 12 to 2, 4 hours. Okay, I'll leave these two for you to do, please. I trust that you will go on and the lesson and you will try them. An analog clock only says 12 hours and there are 24 hours in a day. So sometimes you may see a clock that has AM or PM. AM is in the morning, any time before midday. So if I had a break at 11 AM, it would mean I had it before time. After midday would be PM. For example, 1, and if you went to bed at 7 PM and slept until 7 AM, then you would have slept for 12 hours. You can see here it's 2:53 in the morning, which is actually in the middle of the night. Middle of the night that would be. You should be fast asleep then. So here you can see that it's 18 minutes past, so it would be 8, 10, 18. Okay, so you can see that there's the AMs and PMs here. So for example, if this one, we know it's the afternoon, it's nearly 4 o'clock, but it's not quite 4 o'clock. So I know this must be 4 p.m. Okay, click on the PM. 4. Oh no, it's not 4 yet. I just said it's not quite there. And then we'd have to count on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, gone too far. And I know 8 added to that would be 60. Okay, final slide. The year is divided into 12 months. Each month has a different number of days. Okay, February has 28 or 29 because it might be a leap year. Every 4 years we have a leap year, and this year was a leap year. And if you want to know why, you don't need to know why in year 3. If you want to know, you can read the description here, okay? So you can know when some of the leap years are. You don't need to know too much about leap years in year 3. So, but you can learn about them more if you want to by going onto the lesson yourself and taking the time to read through it. I'm not going to read through it myself. So you can answer by working out when the next leap year will be. If this was a leap year and they're every 4 years, then the next one can work out when. I'll leave that question for you. If you want to answer that in the blog, you can as well. Thank you. I know that the video has been a bit longer today, but thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to teaching you again tomorrow.